No, I did.
Alright, go
Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back or welcome to the Better Self podcast. Oh, I'm Shahila, and this is my wonderful husband, Darius. Say hi.
That is I. Hello.
Hello. Okay. Well, we're just gonna jump right into this episode.
Man, my lips hurting, bro. I think I paper cut myself with the fork.
Paper cut yourself with the
I
fork?
don't know how to explain it, but like I was eating, and then like it just, I don't know.
Like, okay.
I don't know how to
You okay,
explain it,
wait,
but
you
like,
mean like the forks that you get like from McDonald's and
no, no,
stuff?
no, 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 no. With the fork, the metal fork, the one we were just
So
using.
it wouldn't be a paper
Yeah, I
cut.
know, but I'm just saying paper cut's like the best way I can explain it. Anyway, sorry. Go on, do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
How is that even?
Do your thing, fam.
Okay,
It's just
we're
on my
just gonna
mind.
jump right into this episode. But if you have not watched the previous episode, I really encourage you to go back and listen or watch it. It was really good. It was very encouraging. Darius was spitting some wisdom
Sorry, talk too
out there.
much.
um, so yeah, so in this episode, we're going to play the Newlywed game. So for those who don't know, Darius and I are married. By the time this comes out, it'll probably be a year by now, which
Yeah,
is really crazy to think about
that
that
is crazy to think
it's
about.
already been a year that we've been married. I can't even
My dogs.
really know. It's needless to say, it's been a very crazy year. It's been very intense with lots of ups and lots of downs, but I feel that we've grown a lot as individuals and even in our relationship. So what do you have to tell the people out there who may be looking to get married in
Get married. Well, I mean, yeah, get married, but understand the commitment behind it.
yeah, for sure.
It's a big decision, and I don't think one that's often talked about in terms of how vast it is, the level of sacrifice. But it's a worthy sacrifice, if that makes sense. It's a
Hmm.
worthy um yeah, like journey and challenge, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
for
sure.
anybody who's looking to get married or maybe you're like marriage isn't my thing, I would highly encourage you to yeah, consider it. I was telling you about this the other day, like, because where I work, sometimes I'm around people who are like sick often, and yeah, there was these people just kind of getting procedures done, and they were with their spouse, and I just thought about, like if I'm old and if I'm ever in this position, I'm happy to know that you'll be by my side. So yeah, it's good to have a life partner.
It is. It's honestly it's really fun when people ask me what's it like being married. I say all the time it's a sleepover with your best friend, although your best friend like gets on your nerves a lot.
Facts.
But
Yeah, bro.
honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's definitely been really challenging, but I really believe that the last year and even being married to you, I think that I'm better for it. You've made me a better person.
That was sweet. Thank you for saying that.
Anyways, enough with the mushy gushy stuff. Let's get into the newlywed game. Have we ever played the newlywed game before?
No, we play a lot of question games though.
We
Like we'll
do.
ask each other a lot of questions. Do you have more idea about what this is than I do? So go ahead and explain.
So the newlywed game is basically just seeing how well you know each other,
Hmm.
kind of just asking questions about your person and your marriage and answering them to the best of your ability. They're good conversation starters. Some of them are a little bit
A little bit wet. Spice Girl plays me with these podcasts, man.
some are a little spicy.
I plead
They're
the
a little
fifth.
spicy. I don't know if we're gonna get spicy.
No,
Maybe
no thanks.
okay.
No thanks.
No, not like spicy. I don't need to put my life out
Okay.
there like
Anyways, go
that.
on. Do your thing.
First question. How did you meet your spouse?
I don't remember. I'm like, can you imagine? That was the answer.
Honestly, I don't remember meeting
No,
you.
but I met you. No, we met at church. I
Well,
mean, I can't tell you like the distinct moment,
yeah.
but we met at church. We both go to, or we both went to the same church, and we met at church. We started becoming friends because we were serving in the same ministry.
Yeah.
and we were helping out some kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how we became friends. Your mom was the program leader or like one of the program leaders. So we spent more time together
Hmm.
and kind of developed a friendship. And then later on, that friendship became a relationship and a relationship to a marriage. So yeah, we met at church.
Yeah. I don't really remember meeting you. I just knew that you were just there.
Hmm.
I knew of you just through like a mutual friend because I was closer with that friend
Okay.
and they would hang out with you a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just knew you that way. And then, like, if anyone was like, "Oh, do you know Darius?" I'm like, "Yeah, like that kid over there."
Darius.
And he was the guy that would sing on stage. Oh
Like
my
I said,
goodness, sing on
man,
stage.
many
That's
times.
what I remember you for, though. Like at church when we were kids, that's what I remember you for, singing that song and being King Darius in the Christmas play.
Which one? The Kurt Franklin line?
Yeah.
I don't need
Ah!
material thing. Yeah, I killed that, man.
Don't let him fool you.
I
He's
killed
playing
that.
right now, but Darius can actually sing.
No, 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 no. But that was
He
those days. That was
he
nice.
can he can actually sing. He won't tell people, and he fronts like he can't. I mean, you're not Sam Smith, like it's not John Legend over here,
That sounds good.
but you can sing. You're not tone deaf.
Yeah, it's fair
Yeah.
enough.
So yeah, we met
Alright.
through church. We met. We were kids. We grew up together, and then we slowly became friends.
Yeah.
Now he's my dogs. This is a question like we can never agree on this, but what was our first date? What do you say is our first date? And then what have I said is our first date?
Well, you say our first date is apparently sources say I sent you a text about a Nerf guns and pizza kind of night. Mind you, we were young at these times, so your boy didn't have a lot of money. Don't judge the first date. I don't think that was our first date. Um, but our first date, I would say, I don't know. Our relationship is weird because like we were not technically dating because of circumstances, and maybe we'll talk about that at a different time. But we were dating, so I don't know what the first date, to be honest, would have been. I really don't know. I can't think of a
That's why I
particular one.
consider that our first date because like this was our first official date when you asked me like, "Oh, do you want to like do this for a date?" Because you sent me okay,
I
so this
feel
is the
like I
date.
feel like a first date or like a better date that we had was like we went to uh what you call it, immersive.
The Van Gogh exhibit.
Yeah,
You
that
think
was more
that's
of
our
like the
first date?
first date. Yeah, because I don't
That
think
was
we
our
really
first
did
like
much, and that was
outing
pretty close
date.
to, no, but I'm saying that was close to the time where we actually like
We're getting
officially
yeah.
started dating. Outside of that, it would be like getting McDonald's, apple pie, and ice cream.
And sitting
But
in
like
the
an
parking
actual
lot.
first date, I would say is that.
No, I say our first date was so anyways, we won't go on like the everything about it. But
Hmm.
Gary sent me a text and it was a picture of a Nerf gun and Uno and then on the bottom it said date night with a question mark. And I was like freaking out because I'm like, "Oh my goodness. This guy, I can't get away from him." Like this is I just don't.
Well, that sounds weird when you frame it that way. You can't get away from him. It
No,
sounded like I was stalking you. Like,
if people that know more about what happened, then they'll understand what I mean by that. But yeah, I think that was our first date because we played Nerf guns. We've had a Nerf gun war and we played Uno reverse. Was that what it's called? Not Uno, Uno flip.
who knows?
And we had Domino's pizza. And
Hmm.
I think that was our first date because that was the time you're like, "Date?" I'm like, "Okay."
Fair enough. If that's what you say, then I
That's
guess
what I
that's what it
think.
was.
Next question. When did you know they were the one?
When did I know that you were the one? I wouldn't say it was a particular moment, um, but I know that over the course of time there came a point where in my mind I felt you were um perfectly complementary to the person that I am. The things that I don't feel like I'm good at, I feel you are. the areas I need to improve in, I think you're good at and challenge me to improve in. And I felt that in a way you were kind of my balance and that you would be a good partner. The things that annoy me about you, I felt that I could live with for the rest of my life. And in kind of collectively looking at all those things and, praying about it, I felt that you were the one and you were the person that I wanted to choose. But I can't say that it was like one particular instance where I'm like, yeah, I know that she's the one. I think it was just over the course of time and kind of the resume you built up, for a lack of better term.
In
So,
other words, he's saying I'm her.
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. Go ahead.
um, when did I feel that you were the one? Same as you. I don't think that I had like one in particular moment where I'm like, yeah, he's the one I have like that this is it. I think it was over time and I just would think about my life and I just wouldn't think about entertaining anybody else. I didn't want to be with anyone else. If I thought about my future, it was just you. I wanted you to be in it. If I thought about having like experiencing something new or something for the first time, you were the person that I wanted to do it with. And yeah, I didn't really care for anybody else. As weird as that sounds, like I didn't care for any other guy if they were interested in me. So
Mm,
that's when I knew that you were the one, I guess. Who is the tidiest?
me. That's not even a question, Jen. Should even be a conversation.
Oh,
Definitely the tidiest. Maybe that
no,
comes
you
from
are not.
all my days, fam.
Oh my days, you are not.
Don't let me expose you,
We're
bro.
not gonna get into this.
Exactly. You're not though.
We can agree to
I would
disagree.
say I'm definitely the tidier one because I think I have more tidying tendencies. I'm usually the one who does
Okay,
most of
actually,
the,
you know what? I'll agree. You are more tidy, but I would say I'm more organized.
yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question was who's tidiest or whatever, and the answer to that question is me. I am the more tidy one. I like my
Anyways,
space clean and not cluttered. It makes me feel distracted and tense. So yeah,
next
I'm the
question.
tidier one.
Who is the funniest?
Me as well. To be honest, I kind of carry this relationship in terms of the comedy
That is so not true.
in terms of the
I am
comedy
actually,
components of
out
our
of the two of us,
relationship.
I've been having some pretty funny jokes. Like
Yeah,
my
but
jokes recently,
it's cause I've
I've,
influenced you.
no, not at all.
My
I've always
comedy
been
has
this
influenced
funny.
me. In fairness to you, you are a little bit funny, but your humor's
A
like
little bit funny.
your humor's like silly funny. Like it's funny not because of what was said, but maybe how you said it. Mine is like comedy,
No, Darius has
nature of
mean
hell.
humor.
I like that.
Whenever he's being funny, he's not being funny. He's just being mean.
No, 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 no. But I mean, that's a form, but that's not the
You
only
have
way I'm
mean
funny. I'm
humor.
funny like all the way around. But to answer your question again, not to belabor a point, me.
I think I'm funnier.
No,
All right, this question is like a huge debate between the two of us. Which one is the better driver?
I would also say me,
No, you are not.
and
Absolutely not. I
I'll
am
explain
the
why.
better driver. 1,000%.
I'm not saying you're a bad driver. I mean, first of all, in terms of like accidents,
Okay, let's not
yeah,
get there. Let's not do
but
that.
I wouldn't say you're a bad driver, but the way you drive
No, you
is
just
like,
panic with anybody. It
no,
doesn't
no, no,
matter
no,
who
no.
is
Let me
driving.
explain. Let me explain. And I told you this. The issue I take with your driving is that you just brake really late. For whatever reason, you feel the need to be really close to cars.
That's not true
No, it
either.
is true. Like, you're supposed to have distance. If this is the car, like, you could be like here, but you're like here. You're like basically kissing the other car.
That's not true.
And as a result of that, that makes me nervous. but I would say I'm a better driver. Also because I think I just have more reps than you.
Um, yeah. I'd say you drive, especially as of recent, you drive more often than me.
I basically drive all the time.
Yeah,
Even
because
even prior to now, I'm saying though, like I basically drive all the time.
well, that's
I
because
pick you up. You're a passenger princess. That's what
as
people
I
say.
should be though.
Yeah, I
That's
drive
the
most
way
of the
that it
time.
should be.
So
I'm a passenger princess.
whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I'm a better driver.
Okay, this we will agree on. Who does most of the cooking?
Also me.
Yes, you
You
do.
see, I'm
You know,
carrying, bro. Just call me LeBron. I'm carrying it. I got the triple double in this relationship. But yeah, I also do most of the
I
cooking.
don't know if everybody watching will understand that
Nah, they will.
reference, but
Search up LeBron. Has my last name. My cousin. But
all right, let's move on. Um, what's your spouse's favorite TV show?
I don't
I know
know.
yours. Yours is This Is Us. You
That's
don't really
yeah, that's
watch
one of them.
you don't really watch TV, so I would say This Is Us is your favorite.
That's definitely one of them. I wouldn't
What's
say
the
it's
other
my only
one?
one. Avatar, The Last Airbender.
That's actually a really great
Yeah,
show.
that's a great show. But yeah, This Is Us is one. Your favorite TV show? To be 100% truthful, I can't say I know. You watch a lot of shows. The only one that comes to my mind is Friends, but I don't think that's your favorite. It's
I
just
love
trash.
Friends.
But
Listen,
Friends is not
if
funny.
you are a Friends watcher, if you like Friends, please let me know. However it is, if you're on the YouTube, comment. If you are watching, wherever you're watching, just like make it known, whatever that means, if you like Friends.
Yeah.
I love Friends. It's such a good show. And he won't even make it past the first episode, like the first 10 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, no, Friends
Not even,
Friends is
first five
Friends is
minutes.
not funny. But your favorite TV show, if I would have to say one, because you always bring this up, and I don't think it's right, you can tell me. It's either Grey's Anatomy or Prison Break.
Ooh,
You
Prison
always talk about
Break.
Prison Break. I never watched it. I don't intend to. But it's just too much time. I missed the moment, you know? Like when it was popping, I didn't watch it. It's too late. It's like I didn't watch Harry Potter either. It's too far gone. Didn't watch Star Wars either. It's too far gone. But
It's
anyways,
not too far gone.
no, it is. But I would say either Prison Break or Grey's Anatomy.
Um, honestly, no.
So what's your favorite TV show?
Probably This Is Us.
That's Cat.
No, it's not.
Stop the cat.
Okay, who's your spouse's celebrity crush?
Boy or girl? Justin Bieber's boy. Girl, I would say is Zendaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or oh my gosh, I'm a tie between Justin Bieber and who else?
In terms of males,
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You 1,000% know.
Jake Gyllenhaal, fam. Elon
Seriously, you
Musk.
literally know. You literally know exactly who
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
I don't know. Tell me.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, I mean,
You been knew that.
yeah, but he's not. You don't talk about Michael B. Jordan like that. You talk about Justin Bieber.
Yeah, because I love Justin Bieber. He is my husband.
Yeah, that's crazy. You need to repent for that. That's crazy. But anyways,
Okay, your celebrity crush. We were actually talking about this, what, yesterday or the day before?
mhm.
Um, don't know how to pronounce her last name. Zoe Salonda.
Mhm.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
I don't know.
For those who don't know who that is,
This is like a recent thing. But
she's
anyways,
the girl, the lady that plays Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy.
yeah. Also, that Avatar person,
Oh yeah,
the blue
she's
ones.
yeah, the blue ones. Which ice cream flavor is their favorite?
Oh, yours is Pearlings and cream.
I do love pralines and cream ice cream. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yours is
Go first.
specifically from Baskin Robbins is the mint chip.
Yeah. Mint chocolate chip from other places is not that good, but from Baskin Robbins, A1.
Oh, this one's sweet. Name the best gift they've ever gave you. What are you gonna say? Don't say something silly.
No, it's not silly. I love you, so you hear me when I say this. You're not really a good gift giver.
That is so not true.
No, you're not.
That's not true at
But
all.
the best gift you've given me. I have to think. Marrying me. That's the best gift you gave me.
That's sweet.
But
That
actual answer.
wait, that was
No,
actually really
no,
sweet.
no, 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 no. That was a cop out. Best gift you bought me. I don't know. You go first. I gotta think about it,
The best gift that you've ever given me, my ring.
bro. A real gift, fam.
That is a
That's
gift.
not a gift. That's no. A real gift, fam.
That is a real
Like for your
gift.
birthday, for Christmas. I'm talking that. I ain't give you that for your birthday or Christmas.
You actually gave it to me for your birthday.
Yeah, but I'm saying your birthday. Birthday or Christmas, best gift I gave you.
Best gift.
I have to think.
Oh, I don't know. You've given me a lot of really good gifts and ones that are really sentimental.
Mhm.
So I'll say it's between two. When we were younger, we're still young. I'm talking like I'm 50.
Mhm.
One time, so like okay, those who don't know me, I also dance, and there's this one dancer and her name is Misty Copeland. She is the very first lead ballerina, black lead ballerina in the company that she works for, and I just like love her. She's so incredibly talented and she's like really cool and she's dope and she's a great dancer. And I was like obsessed with her. I was like really anyways, and Darius reached out to her, and I think you emailed her.
Yep.
He emailed her
Got
and got me,
signature.
yeah, he got me a autographed photo of Misty Copeland, like from her, and she like they were in contact with each other, and I was just like, that was the most crazy thing because in my head I'm like, you were listening to what I was saying, and I think that's the okay. That's probably the best gift that you've ever given me
Thanks, right?
because it was just it was thoughtful. It wasn't anything big or anything crazy, but it just meant a lot to me.
Fair enough. Best gift you got me was actually this year. Um, it was for my graduation. You threw like a surprise thing for me, which was nice because yeah, for whatever reason, I don't really like celebrating things
Yeah.
or like acknowledging stuff that happens that's like good. But yeah, that celebration I thought was nice. But yeah, yeah, you can improve on your gift giving.
Okay, how can I improve
You
gift
know what it
giving?
is? It's because I told you this before. You give gifts that you think you'll like or that you think will look good on me. You don't think about what I actually want.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which one of you would win in Trivial Pursuit?
I don't even know what that is. What?
Trivia.
Oh,
100% you.
yeah.
1,000%. Darius is extremely smart.
Trivial pursuit. That's what they call that. Yeah, I would win at that. We have the knowledge, power, skill. You don't know.
Who is what? Who is more adventurous?
You. You're definitely more adventurous. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I married you. Well, I mean, yeah, that's one of the reasons I married you. Even though I don't like adventure. Me not no wilderness explorer.
Also, something else about Darius, his accents are absolutely
Stop
terrible.
the cap.
They are not good. He thinks he's from the islands,
You want to hear my
and
British
his.
one?
You want to show them his British
No,
accent?
no,
Go
no,
ahead
no, no,
if
no.
you want.
No, no. The British one is bad. Anyways,
All of them are bad.
British.
His
British.
Trini accent, his Jamaican accent, his British accent.
British. You want
He's
crumpets and tea?
okay. Let's move on now. How many children does your spouse want?
You want one?
As of right now, yeah,
I want three.
which is
So we
wonderful.
meet in the middle with two.
Two. Yeah. One
But
boy, one girl, hopefully.
we want
Or just
three of them. Five. I'm
not too
gassing.
much.
I'm gassing. But yeah,
Too
three.
many kids is like I can't do I don't know. There's just something about it. I just that's scary.
We'll see what the Lord has in store.
There's also such thing as contraception. So,
What I have to do with the Lord, fam? When Sarah's womb was barren,
okay.
yeah, make her have child.
Okay, what's your hidden talent?
I don't think I have a hidden talent. I don't know. What would you say?
that you are very musically inclined. Like
But I don't think that's hidden.
If you give Darius a week, you can learn any instrument you want.
Okay, I don't know about all that. I
Yes,
don't know.
you
I don't
could.
know about all that, but I appreciate the your confidence in me. It's flattering. Uh, yeah, I don't know if I have a hidden talent. Oh yeah, I wouldn't say I have any hidden talents.
Okay.
I could low key spit a verse. If you ask me to write something
No, no,
down,
no,
I could
no,
give you
no.
a
Let's
song.
not do that.
I'm gonna drop a track maybe. Let's do a freestyle.
Well, since the those questions were boring and you didn't want to answer any spicy questions.
Bro, what does that even mean?
You don't want to answer any spicy questions. It's okay.
The heck?
Who is the person in your family you're the most honest with?
I feel like all of them. I don't feel like there's
No,
anyone I'm
you're not
not
the most
honest
honest
with.
with all of them.
Absolute fam. I don't think I lie to any of them.
No, I don't
The
mean that you
most,
lie. I think that you're the most honest with your dad, though.
I would say my parents. There's nothing I would tell my dad that I wouldn't tell my mom.
Well, maybe I just because I've seen you and your dad together more, especially as of recent.
Yeah, I think in our home, like open communication was something that was
Yeah,
emphasized. So there's not really a problem amongst any of us to share anything. If anything, maybe with my siblings, but that's more from not even from a I'm dealing with something thing. Like if I had a problem and I needed to talk to one of my siblings about it, I know I could, but more from a confrontational standpoint. Our family's not very direct in our confrontation.
yeah,
But that's something I think recently we've even worked on too. I think we're more heads on with problems and stuff. But to answer the question, there's not a single person in my family that I'm more or less honest with, especially my parents. I'm honest with the both of
yeah.
them
You have
equally.
a really great relationship with your parents,
Shout out to Dukes
which is nice. How do you express love and affection?
with me art. Um, how do I express love and affection? I mean, I would say I do that in a lot of ways, but maybe primarily I would say through like, sorry, I'm saying like a lot, through serving. Um, yeah, I enjoy doing things for people, helping people out when they're in need. If someone needs something, I'll show them that I care about them by, yeah, assisting them in whatever they need. And I would say I do the same for you, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't leave it only to that. I would say also, yeah, in the words I say, in the way I act. I think I show love in all those forms, but yeah, service probably primarily.
yeah. How would you say that, like, your example of marriage from your parents has affected how you go about things in our marriage?
Um, I would say that, well, I guess especially my dad. So my my mom and dad have a very interesting dynamic. My mom, I love her to death. I always say she's the nicest and meanest person I know. Like my mom is so kind, but also like wicked, respectfully,
Oh my goodness.
respectfully.
I'm so
But
sorry, Mom, if you
what I mean
experienced
by that is
this.
that she has a strong personality, and my dad is very meek, but not in a weakness kind of way. He's very quiet and patient. And yeah, something I've seen throughout my parents' marriage is, at least especially my dad, so like thinking from the husband perspective, is that he always served us. Like whether it was my mom or us, he never really questioned, taking us to certain things or picking us up from certain places. Like as kids, we all knew that if we needed a ride to call dad, not mom, because mom's not about to come scoop us. So yeah, and then even like making meals for us, even till this day, like if I ever needed something from my dad, he's there. So I think in that way, and how I seen him serve my mom and all of us, like that kind of colors my experience for life, and then also our marriage where I always see my dad making breakfast for my mom, or I always see my dad, when my mom was tweaking, like he's just patient. I maybe didn't adopt all of that from my dad because sometimes, truthfully, I'm impatient with you, which I apologize for. But yeah, I just saw him do that, and in that way, I think that's kind of influenced how it is now. But yeah, what says you?
I think kind of in a similar way. My dad was by far the most patient and generous person that I've ever known. I don't think I remember one time really in my childhood where he ever yelled at us,
Mm,
ever. Maybe he was harder on my brothers for sure, but with me and my sister, I don't think I can think of a time where he's ever yelled at us,
yeah,
ever. Like it's just not even like a thought in my head. And same with dealing with my mom. He was very patient with her and he was very, very goofy. My mom was very goofy too, and I think that their relationship with one another was they you could tell that they were friends and that they'd known each other for so long,
right.
which I really thought was cool. And yeah, I think that kind of comes into our relationship too because I think that we're honestly really good friends and we were friends before we even started dating. So I think that I bring that into our relationship because I think that if you don't like the person as a friend, it's hard to like them as more than a friend. And we have a good friendship. We literally talk about any and everything. And my mom, when my dad got sick, I noticed well, I notice it more now, like that I reflect on it, but my mom was very selfless and would sacrifice so many things and was always there for my dad. If like for everything and anything. If you were to ask her, "Oh, what is she doing?" It's either she's doing something for one of us, like for her kids, or doing something for my dad
Mm,
and trying to help my dad and serving my dad, making sure that he's good, that he has food, that all those different kinds of things and how that transfers into our marriage and into our relationship. I really believe that I try my hardest to make sure that you have the things that you need for yourself, whether that be making sure you drink water or that you ate food, or even just being there as a support system. If you want to run a marathon, I'll support you with whatever training goes into that process. So that's what I would say. Okay, so the last couple questions weren't really part of the newlywed game, but they just kind of led into conversations and things that I just thought about. But I want to, when new people come onto the podcast, which there will be other people other than the two of us on future episodes, hopefully. A question that I want to start each conversation with is one that I'm going to end this conversation with because we are working towards being um, our better selves and learning how to better ourselves. So I want to begin each conversation with this question, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to end this conversation with this question. But I want to ask you, do you love yourself?
do I love myself? It's a good question. I would say I do. I would say that um, I think now at this current moment, I'm in a lot better of a place than I had been in a while. Something I started doing, um, which obviously know about, but for a while I was doing therapy, just for certain things that happen in my life that I won't share on here, maybe in a different conversation. But yeah, and one of the things that we kind of went through in that like was this idea of the self concept and how we view ourselves and our perspective of ourselves. And I would say, at least in the world, I present as a very confident person who has his stuff together. Um, Not to toot my own horn, but I think I do pretty good in terms of life. I think I'm fairly successful given where I'm at in my life in terms of academically and things I've been able to achieve in terms of my personal aspirations. And at the surface, it could seem like Like, what is there not to love? But we kind of talked about that self concept and the perspective people have of me versus the perspective I have about myself, and some of the challenges that I have in terms of, you know, the kind of person that I want to be. At times I don't feel like I am. I'm very self-critical, so at times I wouldn't say maybe I don't love myself, but I could be harsh on myself. But to answer your question as to whether or not I love myself right now, I would say yes. And what I've learned is that um, love for myself doesn't derive from anything that I do, because there will be times in our lives where we will do more or less. And not to say that, like, if you're doing bad things, you should be proud of the person that you are. I think there is a place where, if you're unsatisfied with who you are, if it's with like legitimacy behind the reasonings, then it could be an indication to change. Like, that's what emotions sometimes can be. They're just indicators. But yeah, I've learned that the how I feel about myself shouldn't derive from what I do, but who I am. And I think how we view ourselves can change on a day to day. But what I would, what I've tried to do is ground myself in the person that God says I am, and see in what ways my life emulates that. Um, yeah, removed from any action that I do, but just my identity in Christ, standing on that. And then also, yeah, people around me, like you, mentors in my life, parents, really listening to how the people who mean a lot to your life speak about you. One thing that I heard someone say once is, putting a value on your evaluators. A lot of people will have things to say about you, but not every criticism is worth the same. So, finding those people to say, like, if you say that there's a character flaw in me, that weighs a lot more than any Joe Blow who says that there's a character flaw about me. And just hearing the encouragements of like mentors and stuff and their perspective on me has really helped as well. So, a long-winded answer to your short question: do I love myself right now? Yes, I would say I do. Um, but it's not based on anything that I've done or who I think I am. It's just who I know. The one thing I know about myself is that I trust Jesus and that He's changed my life. And as a result of that, I can say that I love myself. And yeah, I like who I am as well.
Out of a percentage, like out of 100%, how much of a percentage would you say you love yourself?
I'd say like 80, 90. I think there's still like times in my self-critique nature where I just pick and prod. And when things are good and great, like no problem, but especially when I would say my flaws are evident, there are times where I'm like, man, why am I like this? Or why are things like this? But I would say most often, yeah, like 80, 90%.
Okay, I have a follow-up question and then we'll finish.
Sure. You even answered the question, but
Oh,
yeah, no, I'll take your follow-up question
no,
first.
I can answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Or no, I'll ask you a question first. Sorry, I have a follow-up question. And that is, how would you say loving yourself, like the way that you love yourself, affects your relationships, whether it would be with me, your siblings, your parents, your friends? How would you say loving yourself affects that?
Um, well, I would say that the way that you feel about yourself, um, as even as the scriptures talk about, and I believe it's one of your verses, like Bible talks about how out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, which I think uh indicates to us that there are parts of ourselves that, or like the emotions that we feel, um, Like the over, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But yeah, that verse tells us that the emotions that we have in a way kind of dictate how we feel. Sorry, repeat your question because I forgot what you were saying.
How would you say the way that you love yourself affects your relationships?
Yeah,
Or
okay.
if you love yourself or the lack thereof?
Yeah. So yeah, the scriptures talk about in Proverbs that out of the overflow of the heart the mouth speaks. Or sorry, that's not in Proverbs, that's a different verse. But in Proverbs it also talks about guarding our hearts, because essentially like your heart leads your life. And in a way, the emotions that you feel dictate how you act. When you're sad, when you're happy, um, when you have certain desires, it leads your life in a certain way. And I would say loving myself or the lack of love for myself colors my interactions in other relationships is because how I feel about myself then becomes the lens through which I interact with other people, you know? So instead of interacting as the person that I believe is kind and integral and patient and hopeful, instead of coloring my relationships through that lens, when I don't feel great about myself, I'm coloring it through a person that is impatient, that is inconsiderate, that is um, talkative, like I am now, and all those different things. And when that's the perspective or lens that you lead with, it affects your relationships because then you start interacting as the person you believe you are, or at least in my case, someone who can be self-critical. It's like the expression where they say you're looking at life through rose-colored glasses instead of rose. Imagine if it's like black-colored glasses. It's just everything you see with the pessimism. And now when you're saying things, I'm more frustrated, I'm more irritated, I'm more uh, angry. So I would say that love for myself helps in the sense of when I have a what I would describe as a right sense of who I am, not thinking too highly of myself, but not thinking too lowly of myself, knowing who I am, accepting who I am, but loving myself too much to stay how I am if there are things that need to change. Um, I think that colors our experience in the sense that when I have a greater appreciation of who I am through the lens that Christ gives me, I feel like I love you better, I love my family better, I love my friends better. But when I look through it from the perspective of the person who is not as content with himself, you become discontent with other areas in your life, and that can create frustrations amongst other people. Why are you smiling, bro?
Because I just love listening to you talk.
I appreciate you saying that. Answer the question.
Um, do I love myself? I think as of recently, it's been, in full transparency, it's been a struggle. There are some things that I don't like about myself that I've been working towards in terms of changing, um, because I want to be a better version of myself for myself, but also a better version of myself in our marriage. And at least in thinking about it and reflecting on it, I've noticed how much it really affects our marriage and our relationship, because those days when I really don't like myself or there's certain things that I'm nitpicking about myself, I project that onto you.
Hmm.
And then I find myself nitpicking at you. And I'm like, okay, well, what about this, this, that, and the third? When really I shouldn't really be just looking at yourself, at you. I should be looking at myself.
Right.
So, do I love myself? I think it's really been a struggle recently. And I'll say I don't love myself fully, or at least in a as much as I have in the past, or where I would like to. And out of 100, I'd say maybe like a 50,
Hmm.
maybe even like a 45, if I'm being very honest with myself.
How would you say that? how would you say that you could shift that, or what the result of that is?
Um, well, how I've been working towards that in building a greater love for myself is spending time with myself, by myself, and also being in my word. I There was a point when I completely just turned my back on God and I was just doing my own thing when and I just was really just lost in everything. And you know a lot of it because you were there and we were walking through it together, but I just was not okay. And was I just was very lost is basically all that I could say. I knew that I believed and I knew what I believed. It was just like trying to get more of that and trying to find more of that. But because I wasn't filling myself up with the word and what God has to say, then all these other things were being fed to me and I was hearing all these other things in my ears, in my mind about who quote unquote I am when they were just lies from the enemy and it was just continuously being fed to myself. And I just felt that it was just growing, like it was like a bacteria almost. That's the best way for me to explain it. And it was just growing and growing and growing and it was almost uncontrollable where I just felt that I couldn't go back. And I was just backsliding where I know that I believe and I know what God says about me, but I just kept backsliding and it was just declining and getting worse and getting worse. So, especially a lot more recently, I've been trying to be in my word and I've been doing a lot of devotionals and readings about what the Bible talks about in terms of love and what love looks like and what love is. And I feel that I've learned what I'm called to do as a wife and how love's supposed to look like, how I'm supposed to show love to you, and vice versa, how God wants you to show love to me. And I think it could also be applicable to how I'm supposed to love myself,
Hmm.
which we can go into depth in another episode because I feel that I've learned a lot in the last like 2, 3 weeks in reading about it. And yeah, so I'm on a journey and on the road to getting to that 100% of loving myself again. So yeah,
Fair enough. Good questions.
thanks. Well, I think that's gonna be it for this episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm tired. Tired.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I enjoyed talking with you.
Thanks. I enjoyed talking to you too.
I feel that we have good conversations when we're together off of the camera, and I think it will be fun and a good experience to share with one another in the process of doing this podcast. So I just want to thank everyone for listening. Sorry, I'm trying to wrap this up fast. My husband's tired and he wants to go to bed. It's late for those who don't know. We're recording this kind of late. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you could, you can subscribe to the Better Self YouTube channel. That's Betters. The E is a number 3 and self, LF. Yeah, you can follow the Instagram. You can listen to the podcast on any of the platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. I think that's all. I don't really know how to close out these things, but we're going to figure it out as time goes on. I'm trying to say
Goodbye.
goodbye, everyone. See you or tune in next time.
Bye.
Bye.